Hey, what's up everyone, CTN Technology News here, and today, as you can see, I'm going to be unpackaging the brand new iPad mini 3 from Apple. So, as you can see, the box is pretty standard Apple. You've got the iPad mini logo on the sides of the box, as you can see right on the left and the right side. On the back, we have some technical information. So, this is the 16GB iPad mini. It is gold colored and it is Wi-Fi only, so no cellular connection here. On the front, you have a profile of the device, and I believe it's actually life-size, so it gives you an idea of how big the tablet will be before you even open the box. But with that said, let's go ahead and take off the lid. So I've already removed the shrink wrapping, so it should be pretty easy. Let me go ahead and pull up right here. And here we go. Here is the iPad mini 3 itself. So I'm actually a pretty big fan of the design here. Even though not a lot has changed since last year's model, the gold color adds a lot of a premium feel to this device. I'm really a big fan of how Apple does this, and you know, I'm always a big fan of how Apple does their tablets. So let's go ahead and set that to the side for now while we see what else is in the box. So right here we've got the power adapter. It is 10 watts. On this side we have the USB connection. On this side we have the prongs. So it's just basically identical to what you get with the iPad Air 2. Right here we have the standard Apple literature in an envelope. So if I go ahead and open this up, and it's harder than it looks, but no. Yeah, anyways, you've got the iPad mini basic start guide, tells you how to get it set up. You've got some technical information, and then you've also got the standard Apple stickers that come with basically any product. So let's go ahead and set that aside, and the last thing in the box is the lightning cable, which as you can see is bundled up very neatly. It's a very small, it's got a really nice slim profile as well, and I'm a big fan of how the lightning cable looks in the box. So yeah, that's basically that. So let me set that aside. So let's go ahead and get back to the actual tablet. So as I already said, the iPad mini 3 is actually pretty similar to last year's model. If I go ahead and remove the plastic right here, you'll see that basically nothing has changed. The gold color is the most obvious change. We've also got Touch ID on the bottom, and the design is pretty nice. I'm a pretty big fan of how Apple does the iPad mini design. But with that said, if you have used last year's model, this upgrade might be just a little bit of a letdown. So you've got the headphone jack on the top, you've got two microphones, one on the top and one on the back for, you know, better recording. You've got the camera, you've got the power button, you've got the mute switch right here and the volume rocker, and then on the bottom we've got a dual speaker and obviously the lightning cable. On this side we've actually got nothing, but if you got the cellular version, I would assume there would be a SIM card slot somewhere on here, so you can actually add cellular connectivity to your iPad. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can actually power this on, so let me go ahead and cut ahead to that. Alright, so here we go. Here's the hello screen, and it changes to different languages. It's very minimalistic, I really like it, but if I swipe to the right, yes, here we go. Here's a list of languages to choose from, so I'm going to go ahead and select English. I'm going to choose United States for my country, because that's where I live. Pretty obvious there. There we go. And now just give me a second while I set up my Wi-Fi network. Alright, so most of the setup is pretty boring, but the one feature I did want to show you is Touch ID, which is making its debut in the iPad mini 3. This is honestly the only major upgrade that Apple has added, because all the specs are the same, but this is an actual hardware change that is in the iPad mini 3 and is not in the iPad mini 2. So as you can see, I'm having to put my fingerprint at all kinds of different angles on the home button, making great progress. But what's nice is this allows you to buy stuff, to make iTunes Store purchases, and there's no NFC, so you can't actually make real life purchases, but it's a nice feature nonetheless, because it makes it a lot easier to turn on your iPad. But anyways, I am now done setting up my iPad mini 3, so, you know, here's the home screen. It runs iOS 8, just as you'd expect, Apple's brand new operating system, and I cannot wait to play around with this a bit more, because it honestly does look like a pretty nice tablet, even if it isn't quite as big an upgrade over the iPad mini 2 as the iPad Air 2 was over the original iPad Air. I mean, if you're looking for maybe a better value upgrade, I would definitely recommend the iPad Air 2, but, you know, stay tuned for my full review, where I'll get pretty in-depth about, you know, what's good about the iPad mini 3, what's not so good. And yeah, that basically wraps it up for this video, so give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.